another each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello. Yeah, when it matches this, the blue's probably better. I wonder if we can get like a pink here. There we go. There we go. That'll work. And let's go news. Look at that. Even my cup kind of matches. Oh, I've tried all sorts of different kind of backgrounds and stuff. This one kind of works for me right now. I was gonna move around the room and maybe put myself in the corner and stuff, but I just don't think that that's going to quite work. So, but yeah, so getting ready to start some hybrid meetings, and so I've kind of been going to some meetings where they are hybrid to see if I can steal some ideas. But I've kind of noticed that when it's a hybrid meeting, Zoom kind of becomes the bitch. Like we're like the bastard child of AA or something. And I won't tolerate that. You know, meeting was over, 2 seconds later, they just cut everybody off. I'm like, no. Mm-mm. Are you doing something wrong? Not necessarily, but considering the meeting was on humility, I sure didn't see much humility, but I heard a lot of talk. Humility requires some kind of action with it in my book. Thanks, Michelle. I'm glad you appreciate it. Thank you. I even matched everything, even my name matches. I'm weird that way. You guys like my new oh, that looks kind of cool too with that on it, huh? Yeah, it's just a blanket. It's just a red blanket. Thought that would be a good match, So, but yeah, good to have everybody here. I'm not trying to complain about it as much as I am saying, maybe we need to make some changes there. We're supposed to be all inclusive, and whether you go to the meeting in person or on Zoom, should probably be recognized somehow, somewhere. Actually, I think rounded's going to work better on this. There we go. A little bit of rounded. I don't mind pink. Pink's all right. Pink's okay with me. It's going to get louder. I keep forgetting that my microphone's over here. All right. I didn't change the level of what I was speaking. And if I go really low, but you can still hear that because I love your microphone. Oh, it's a good microphone, this. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny you say that, Kathleen. It's funny you say that because earlier when I plugged it in, it was this, and I always have. In fact, it's still up there on my YouTube. Shine on You Crazy Diamond Part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 was playing. So it kind of matched. They're bringing back Laser Floyd in Colorado, which I think is pretty cool. You just go to laser shows. You know what's cool about laser shows? They're trippy, and you don't even need to do any drugs. I'm not gonna finish that line because I know what went through all of our heads. Well, yeah, but the drugs make it better. Those crazy alcoholics. All right. If you have any ideas, if you've been to some hybrid meetings and stuff, please, and you have some ideas, there's one that I went to that I really liked where they say, okay, this, the person, they were unmuting the person that was speaking, and then they say, and then this person's on deck, or this person's up to bat, and this person's on deck. I kind of like that. So it's kind of one in front of the other. But what I want to do is I kind of want to update. I want to update us. So if we're in person, what I wouldn't mind is like a little box where you press a button, it just turns green in front of it, and it means you want to speak. It means that you would like to share. And then the person chairing the meeting, that might need to be in person. Well, not necessarily. Yeah, it's going to kind of need to be. Well, we'll figure it out as a group, right? So it feels like whether you're on Zoom or in person, that you're kind of getting the same thing. Am I off on this? Am I? I might be. Hi, Amber. I didn't say hi. At the end there, it was funny because I wrote in there, I in the chat, I'm like, nobody on Zoom ever got a chance to share. Bummer. And then they turned off the meeting. Like it was retribution. It wasn't. They were just shutting it down. But see, it just ended. And there were 10 people online. There were 10 people. You think we don't want a parking lot meeting? How about you turn off your microphone so we don't have to hear all so that we can have our own, right? Maybe we can have a separate room that at the in-person where it's like, oh, I wanted to go talk to some people on Zoom where you can go in there and there's another camera or whatever. Well, the other reason I like the hybrid thing is because in Colorado, we quite often, we'll get 2 inches of snow, and that's what it's been lately. You're like, oh, I can't make it. In case we can't meet in person, we can still meet online. That's right. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. Hope you're having a good day. Happy Monday. I did a little pushing around today. Whether please say hello whether you're watching live or the rewatch. It's funny because it never came up here. Where was it? It didn't show up. It's been acting weird. Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, we're going to be talking, or we're going to be reading from Courage to Change. And let's get started. What time am I talking to him? 2:30. Sorry, I got to check this out. Make sure I have it in my 2:30. Yeah. 2:30 to 3:30. I knew what you meant, Kathy. I knew you meant afternoon. I'm not, I used to correct people all the time when I knew they were wrong. In fact, I was just doing it. The topic was humility, and they kept saying, and if you go back to humility, it's a Latin word for humilis, which means dirt. And no, it doesn't. It means low. and describes a species of a shallow cumulus cloud which typically has a flattened appearance. It can also mean like what is it? Low, lowly, small, slight, shallow, base, mean, humble, obscure, port, but what it doesn't mean is dirt. And if you're just trying to sound fancy in a meeting, I'm just not really up for it. And keep your 10-letter words. All right. Part of my recovery has been involved reversing some old ways of thinking. It's been a habit to avoid. I'm still working on lighting and stuff there. That'll help. Oh, that works perfect. Now I got legacy. Now I can actually read it. It was dark. It was so dark. Part of my recovery has involved reversing some old ways of thinking. It had been my habit to avoid painful feelings and situations, to play it safe, and to keep away from risk. But life involves one risk after another, and some pain is unavoidable. Al-Anon helps me to accept what it is. There are some things in this life that we're gonna have to face. I spent most of my drinking career running away from my problems. Oh shit! I didn't get coffee. I'm sorry. If you might give me a minute, talk amongst yourself. Taking coffee doesn't get long. I don't add much shit. If I'm in a hurry, I don't even add sugar. So. I like it black and strong. Sludgy. Sludgy. I've been drinking out of the same coffee cup for 3 days because I haven't done the dishes. So, in case I don't know if people actually watch or not, which coffee cup I'm using, what shirt I'm wearing for the day or anything, right? So I spent most of my life running away from my problems. It was mostly because I didn't know how to deal with them. I didn't know how to handle them. Nobody ever sat me down. It seemed like everybody else was able to handle their problems much better than Dion. You know, I don't know where they learned that from, where they instilled with it. Adding shit to your coffee would make it blacker and sluggier. I don't know. Add milk to it. I bet it's not blacker. Huh? Yeah. I don't need much flavor. I grew up on Skid Row. You know, when your coffee comes from Skid Row, you just tend not to complain. You know, I'm not big on Starbucks. I think that's like the stupidest thing. But people like their treats, man. People like their treats, and it's deserved. Yeah. So if you need that, I use different things. I use different things to for that. Like I get my soda. Right. So there it is. But living a life running away from your problems does not well, it doesn't lead to a very joyful life, man. You know. And speaking of humility, it takes a lot of used to add speed to yours. I believe that. I believe that. I used to add whiskey to mine. Tasted like shit, but whiskey tastes like shit. It's like I was in a meeting earlier and it was a story about Jim. Jim's the guy that went to lunch and he added whiskey to his milk on a full stomach because he thought it wouldn't affect him. And gosh, that just sounds totally gross. But I'd still drink it if it meant it was going to get me drunk. You bet your ass I would have. Oh, weird. It's weird because I'm a very picky eater. I'm a very picky drinker. Do not give me flavored coffee. I fucking hate it. I hate flavored coffee. All right. It's because I used to make it. All right. Back in the day. Now it's made differently. Before you'd have to pour syrup onto the beans and stir it. I used to work for a local coffee company here called Boyer's Coffee. Man that started Boyer's Coffee, Bill Boyer, he died with like over 50 years of sobriety, and he was an asshole. He was a complete asshole. Very giving, except at work. At work. If it wasn't for Boyer's Coffee, we wouldn't have had coffee down at the Feeney's Concept. He donated it down there. See, he was a pretty giving person, right? It isn't just the fourth and fifth step that where we face our snakes. We might do that in therapy. It might be, but it needs to be a working part of my sobriety. It can't, I'm not going to just do the fourth step and it's a one and done and we're over with. It's not how life works, so thank God for the 10th step that allows me, and this is what I love about the 10th step. I call it the human step. It gives me the right to be wrong. And I'm wrong quite often. I was just wrong a second ago. I was watching this. I like what the guy had to say. It was an Instagram post, right? But there's something fishy, something in my gut. And I'm like, I'm going to be a little bit more positive this time. I said, well said, brother. Well said, brother. And then suddenly on Instagram, he's sending me a message, then I get this intrusive message, right? And it's not just sent to me. That says, hey, this is Dan. If you haven't already joined, I wanted to share my school community with you. Completely free to join. I packed it with hundreds of videos on breathwork, meditation, biohacking hacks, and tools to try to break it. There's not going to be anything you can join for free, but this is where recovery has become Amway. I feel like I'm going to do a timeshare condo in Florida. I feel like I'm being fooled here. See, this is a promotion, not attraction. Just because it says join for free here, you know how many times things are said for free? And nothing in this world is free, is it? We know better than that. So what have you got to hide, my friend? So I'll be going back to that post and revamping my statement. How you like me now? Part of who I am, man. I'm confrontational. Earlier, there's people that weren't reaching out. I've been trying to help these people. I wrote and I said, hey, you guys, if I'm going to help you, because it was a week ago, they were supposed to set a day or whatever, but I don't know what people are going. So it's kind of nice. And I wrote in and I said, hey, I'm ready to get started and we got to start doing some things, but I don't know your guys' expectations. I can't just do this flying blind. So let's get together and get something done before the predators get their shit together and take everything back over. If I don't hear from you, I presume you decided to go another way. 5 minutes later, hey, can you meet at this time? Yeah. Okay. Now, why would I be persistent with a company that is kind of ignoring me? Because it's not about me. Because it's not about me. Some things need to get done. They're a good company. Okay. But that doesn't mean that all the workers there are committed like the other people that I've been talking to are. Okay. And his boss was on that text. So I knew that I would get it, but I didn't have to be mean. I was just like, I'm just going to presume you're doing something else. Because what else would I presume, right? Is that facing a snake? Sure it is. Otherwise, it's going to build into a resentment and it's going to become something else. I might even get depressed. Oh, people don't want to work with me. And maybe just plain forgot. Okay. I don't think it's very often that people forget Dion now. That one I don't quite buy. But you never know. It's hard to forget me. I make sure of that. I'm a little over the top. I can be. I can be, man. You know. But it's quite often that we get to make mistakes. And the 10th step allows us to take a look at these things a little differently, a little less anger, a little less angst, maybe a little bit more humility, some understanding of what other people are going, that somebody might be, you don't know what's going. I do not know what's going on in other people's lives on the regular, for the most part. There's several people here. I do know what's going on in your life. Some of it private, some of it not so private. I'm also one of those people where if you tell something to me, I'm like a steel trap, man. Yeah. No. Not going to go tell your problems to other people. Now, you might be going through something and I may know somebody that's also going through it and I might hook you up with them, but that'd be about the extent of it. Hey, is it, and now I'm going to ask permission. Hey, I know somebody going through it too. Do you mind if I tell a little bit of your story and maybe you two can help each other out? Nothing wrong with that. I had to go from being passive aggressive to being a little bit more assertive or a lot more assertive or just assertive. Don't really need to give it a little or a lot, right? But I'm never going to be able to get through. I'm never going to be able to understand my triggers. I'm never going to understand who Dion really is unless I face my snakes. Okay. And the process for us, at least in AA, starts at the 4th step. Starts at the 4th step. Is it weird? This shirt's actually purple. Yeah, it's purple. It's not blue. It's the lighting. Notice I never really wear green. The only real green shirt, the only shirt I really have green in is the tie-dye one that Amber gave me. Doesn't it? It's because it messes with the lighting and background. All right. Instead of running away, I'm learning to look at the source of my distress. As a result, I find that pain passes much more quickly and that I gain, and what I gain is freedom from fear. I think you're going a little too far. I'm sorry, but fear doesn't go away. There's nothing wrong with fear. There's nothing wrong with it. It's how it's utilized. How are you utilizing your fear? Okay. But to make the assumption that we are free of fear, I think is well, it's just a lie we're telling ourselves. You think I don't have a fear that my wife might not be here one day? Think I don't have that fear? Think I don't have a fear that one day something might happen and I'll drink again? I don't have that fear. Absolutely, I do. Yeah. You think that I don't have a fear that one day I might come here and everybody's like, "Ah, Dion, we don't want to fucking listen to him anymore." You think I don't have those fears? To think that you are free of fear, I think is highly naive. Yeah, sure, I have those fears. It's what I do with them that matters. So what do I do? Well, with my wife, I try and change so that she doesn't want to go anywhere. But that's never gonna happen. I'd have to do something really, really, yeah. So, um, as a result, for fear, Al-Anon gives me tools, such as a 4-step inventory, with which I can take an honest look at myself and my situation. Now, it is a great place to start. The 4-step is a great start. Okay. But I can tell you there were things that I missed on that 4-step. Oh, here it is. Here it is. The Astro herbal medication. Now they got sneaky. Nachman, you're going to be hearing from me. just so you know, when I'm done with this, you're going to be hearing from me. So I would recommend you block me right now, because I'm going to come at you with such a fervor that I'm going to make your day suck. I'm going to make your day suck. All right. And I'd say thanks for I highly recommend reaching out to my best friend. Oh, he's your best friend? Cool. Where do you go to high school? You're full of shit. You're lying. Okay. Don't come on here and lie. You're probably not even here anymore, huh? Say something else. Say something that you actually mean, Nachman. Okay. But to go on other people's videos and promote drugs. Woo! Yeah. Oh, he didn't. Oh, I have to rephrase that. I'm sorry. He's an herbal medical practitioner. Way to change your words there, buddy. I bet when I go look, they ain't gonna be there no more. All right. So what else do I have to put in there? I have to put herbal medicine practitioner. Yeah. See, I have key words that you're not allowed to say here. That's why it took so long. They had to rephrase. They have to go back and rephrase it. That's how I make their job a little bit harder. Now they'll eventually run out of words. So, but I'm gonna look up this Dr. Stogo, and maybe talk to them about ethics. I think would be a good place to start. Some ethics, because this is extremely unethical. You don't even have a picture, dude. This is it. That did you? Awesome. Thank you, Amber. Everybody feel free to message Nachman Zare file saved. File saved. It's so they can keep track. All right. Thank you, everybody. And thanks for letting me chew that person out. I feel a little bit more superior now. I don't, but it was funny to say. Oh, all right. A supportive sponsor, my higher power, the Serenity Prayer, and many Al-Anon meetings help me find the courage to deal with my fear, pain, and risk. There we go. They got to them. They got to it here. Yeah, it's the courage. I'm not going for less fear. I'm going for more courage. It's my preferred way because I already know I'm not going to have. Well, my fears are lessened. They are lessened, but they do not disappear. No, I still, but it's a healthy fear. I'm not overdoing it. I'm not going to an extreme with that fear. That's kind of the difference. When I was avoiding taking risks, fear was always with me, just over my shoulder. Now I go through it and come out the other side, often unscathed. Yeah. I no longer have to keep constant watch for potential dangers. Instead, I can occupy myself with the living. I'm going to kind of talk on that a little bit because I'm glad that they're free of that. Okay. Um, it's hard for me not to be on constant watch for potential dangers. I just didn't grow up in a very, what I would consider a very safe household. I would never really been, I didn't grow up with any kind of safety. Mm-mm. No. And part of my survival skills is knowing exactly what's going on around me at all fucking times. All times. It's one of the reasons why it's hard for me to be out in public. Because there's a lot to survey. Right. I'm one of those people where if we go into a restaurant and I can have a corner booth, that's what I want. I don't like people behind me. I'm not big on people being behind me. I can sit down comfortably, but I know, and I'm listening. I'm listening to everything going on in that restaurant. Sorry, I've been in too many places. And when I say cafeteria, I don't mean school. I mean jail. I mean juvenile detention. You got to watch your back. You got to. Yeah. People don't, then places like that, they don't attack you from the front. They're fucking fearful little pieces of shit. Man, I shouldn't say that because I was there. All right. There's a lot of fear. All right. So I don't know that necessarily goes away either. It hasn't for me. When I eat, I have to intentionally slow myself down. It's a survival skill. When I shower, I intentionally have to. People are like, you're done showering? It took you like 3 minutes. I'm like, jail. It's just something that's a part of me. Oh, yeah. I haven't been done showering in a Beatles song. Like, how do you do that? Well, with soap. Yeah. No point lingering. All right. Not always, but those are some examples, that would bring, I no longer have to keep a constant watch for potential dangers. At least not a constant watch. Yeah. I can go for that. Right. Today's reminder, wonderful things can happen today because I welcome the thrill of participating in my own life. Avoiding danger. And this is a quote right here. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. Life is either a daring adventure or nothing. Helen Keller. If you're not familiar with Helen Keller, she had a pretty tough life. She was blind. She was deaf. She had some other things. She had some other concerns. Yeah. But she went on to lead a fruitful life. And, there's a lot of miracles around Helen Keller. Don't know whatever happened to her. Don't know what happened to her. But if there was a person that I'd want to quote that faced their snakes, gosh, it would be her. She was an amazing person. She helped a lot of people. She took her pain and everything else and turned it into something good. Absolutely. All right. I think that's going to be it for this one. I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. I appreciate you being here. Unless your name is Nachman Zer, file saved. Thank you for appreciating it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.